Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Wednesday, July the 22nd, race number 3 at Saratoga. Let's take a look at the field for the $85,000 Lubash Stakes. These are New York breds, 3 and up, going a mile and a 16th on the Mellon turf course. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Access them, handicap along with us. A little disappointed, Mike. Only 5 entered the Lubash. The 2 Yankee division is entered main track only.
Yeah, could not get a big field for it. It looks like we're going to have an overwhelming favorite with Cross Border on the rail dropping out of a grade 1.
Deservedly so. He was beaten a length in that grade 1, plus he has early speed. We take a look at the Timeform US pace projector. Blewett's trying turf for the first time. It's always questionable whether these horses with dirt speed will be able to successfully transfer them to turf. I would expect they're going to go in this short field, but Cross Border, he's not going to let Blewett get too far away. And if Jose Ortiz catches a flyer out of the gate, I wouldn't be surprised if they make the running.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with Blewett on turf. He's certainly a very good horse, I think, Dan, and he does have speed. But you're right, Cross Border has speed as well. So, no matter how this race is run, it just doesn't feel like the favorite's going to be compromised.
Just another great training job by Mike Maker. He returned Cross Border off a layoff of a year plus. He's won 4 times. He's now graded stakes placed, beaten a length in the Manhattan last time out. And in the Manhattan, he had a very nice trip and ride. He was able to get to the lead. They backed down the fractions, but he ran very well. And if he repeats that race and some of his others, they're going to really have to have him nailed on tight to beat this horse.
Yeah, I mean, I just, personally didn't really see any reason to try to beat him in here. We'll see what happens. Then he's very versatile as far as running style goes, very versatile as far as distance goes. They've run him in, several graded stakes races, and he's more than held his own in those races. Now he's back in with New York breds for the first time since going back-to-back at Saratoga last summer.
Yankee division is the number 2. This is horses entered main track only, so we'll move to the 3 of the JY, a horse making his second start of the year, and I guess he ran just fine when entered for the $40,000 tag last time out, first off of the layoff. He ran okay. He could certainly build off that effort, and he's going to have to build off that effort because his career best buyer speed figure of 92, well, a nice solid figure, pales in comparison to that of Cross Border. He has some tactical speed as well. He's 3rd on the pace projector, and that's where I expect him to be.
Yeah, I can see him getting a good trip in this race. I don't, know that he's good enough to beat the favorite if that horse shows up. But he's run some good races. He'll get a good trip in here. I'm actually a fan of his, Dan. I just feel like this is a tough spot for him.
If the pace heats up, there's a chance that the 4 Dante's Fire can pick up some pieces. Another horse trained by Mike Maker, making his 3rd start of the form cycle. Let's watch his most recent start. Now winners of one other than New York bred allowance race, and they went fast in the early portion, and it really set things up for Dante's Fire's late kick. We see him on the outside right now in the big white blinkers, and he's just going to sweep by everybody. Now, the pace, I think, had a lot to do with this, but also he's a lightly raced horse with some upside potential. He's also a 3-year-old facing some tough older horses.
Yeah, it just feels like a really tough race for him. He's definitely improved this year. He improved last year as soon as they stretched him out. He's improved in his 2 starts this year as well. But as you say, he had an absolute dream setup for a closer last time. They went a really fast pace in that race. He took advantage, and now he's stepping way up in class.
Wrapped, the number 5, is a rock-solid horse. He's multiple stakes placed against New York breds, and he's faced sort of the gatekeepers of this division over the years, whether it's Offering Plan or whether it's Black Tide or whether it's Carafa, and he's usually right there. Another horse that needs some pace. Let's watch his most recent start. Again, a prep race in all likelihood. His first start off a 6+ month layoff. He's going to get up for 3rd in here. He's also in for the $40,000 waiver that day. He made a little bit of a wide run. You see him the 9 on the outside in the white blinkers. He's going to flatten out just a little bit late. The winner of this race came back to run 3rd for 50 with an 86 buyer speed figure. I thought it was a good prep. Now, he's going to have to step up substantially to beat this field, but I think he can improve, and he's shown that he can be a nice state-bred stakes horse.
Yeah, no, I agree with all that stuff. That race that we just watched there is another race, though, that had a really competitive pace. You saw him basically on even terms with the winner in the upper stretch there, and he had a fair shot at that race. He just got out-finished by that horse. second off the layoff, he can do better. But, I guess he's just going to have to hope that Blewett just runs off on the lead in here and goes a fast pace, because this horse just feels like he's going to be last up the backstretch.
Let's take a look at our top selections for this race. I'm curious to see what we get from Blewett. His first 2 starts this year for Todd Pletcher on dirt were awful. His last 2 starts were okay. A big win for non-winners of one other than at Gulfstream, going 2 turns. And then last time out in the commentator, he was in against some tough horses, Mr. Buff and Funny Guy and Bankit, or legitimate New York bred dirt horses. Uncle Moe's can do anything. They're 15% with first-time turf. I just wish there was more turf in this pedigree, Mike. I couldn't find any.
That was my problem with him too, Dan. If I had seen a little turf pedigree, I might have been interested in taking a shot with him in here and just hope he could wire the field. But I just didn't see it. I like him as a horse. I think he's a good dirt horse. I won't try to beat the favorite with him.
Cross Border, way the horse to beat. Would you single this horse, Mike, in multiple race wagers?
I would.
1, 3, 5, and 6 for Mike. 6, 1, 4, and 3 for me. It's the Lubash Stakes Cross Border for Mike Maker, dropping out of a grade 1. Approximate post time for race number 3, the kickoff leg of the pick 4 at Saratoga on Wednesday, 1:54 Eastern. Good luck.